Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It is 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. So glad you're here. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Another chilly start to the day. But hey, the moon looks really cool. That sliver of a smile out there.
It's the storybook. It's the one you see in the stories.
Yes.
There's someone sitting on
Totally. So meteorologist Evan Arati keeping an eye on the skies. Again, another clear morning.
Yeah, we love a crescent moon.
Yeah.
The crescent, yes.
And I will say the mornings have been gorgeous for stargazing and moon gazing.
True.
Considering how clear it is out there. So Santa Anas continue to remain a huge factor in our day-to-day forecast. Those Santa Anas are helping to keep us warm on the warmer side of average and helping to keep our skies clear. This afternoon, coastal communities could make it all the way up to the mid-70s. Some spots like downtown San Diego, maybe low 70s. But as you get up toward North County, those mid-70s will be more present. And take a look at what we can see inland. Widespread 80s in the forecast. Remember, average for this time of year would be low to mid-60s. So we are trending about 10 to 20 degrees warmer than average, especially as you get out toward Poway at 83 this afternoon, 84 in El Cajon. Out the door, mainly 40s right now, 47 in Escondido, Julian, and Oceanside, under those clear skies. Coming up, we'll talk about if we have any changes in sight in the updated 7-day forecast. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic on our Wednesday morning.
Good morning. 6:01 is the time on your Wednesday, halfway through the week. We are tracking a 4 to 5 car crash up in the North County just as you make your way in from the Camp Pendleton area on the 5 South right before you get to the 76. Now, we're told that traffic is down to about 3 lanes, debris scattered in a lot of those lanes as well, and speeds down to about 8 miles per hour or so. So again, this is a reminder for anyone just waking up, let's say in from the Camp Pendleton area or even Orange County, those cities just north of us. If you're headed southbound, you could encounter a good amount of congestion because we're bottlenecked through that pocket. 5 in both directions. This is a little more south of where that crash occurred. This is right at Oceanside Boulevard. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your travel times have in store. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And now, as artificial intelligence continues to boom, it's becoming a part of people's daily lives. So does its demand for energy.
So later this morning, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors will consider legislation aimed at protecting us here in San Diego from rising energy costs due to increased demand from AI data centers. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live outside the county admin building, where that meeting is going to get underway here at 9 a.m. Regina?
That's correct. Good morning, guys. In just a couple of hours, we'll be listening into the first county supervisor meeting of the year. And County Supervisor Jim Desmond is working to stop massive AI data centers before coming into this region. So Desmond says these facilities consume enormous amounts of electricity and water, sometimes equal to the demand of tens of thousands of homes. Officials say the surge in energy use driven by artificial intelligence, electrical vehicles, and automation is pushing the power grid to its limits. At the same time, large tech companies continue replacing workers with AI. He criticizes corporations for, quote, not paying the true cost of the power needed to run technology. Instead, ratepayers are doing that. The proposal would require the county to study how AI data centers affect electricity rates, water use, fire risk, noise, and local infrastructure. It would also give communities a stronger voice and require corporations to pay their fair share. This comes months after Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill that aims to protect Californians from rising energy costs due to increased demand from artificial intelligence data centers. And that's a bill drafted by Steve Padilla here in San Diego. So back out here in just a couple of hours at 9 a.m. that supervisor meeting will take place. We'll learn more about that new legislation that Supervisor Jim Desmond is hoping to introduce. I'm Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you very much for the latest there. This morning, we are now learning several federal prosecutors in Minnesota have resigned in the aftermath of a fatal shooting by ICE.
CBS News reports the group includes Minneapolis Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson. Thompson reportedly resigned in response to pressure from the Department of Justice to investigate the shooting as an assault on a federal officer case instead of a civil rights case. The state of Minnesota is now suing over ICE's deployment, claiming federal agents endangered public safety. Meanwhile, a new California bill is intensifying the clash between the state and the Trump administration. Senate Bill 747 seeks to allow state residents to sue federal immigration agents. In light of the deadly ICE shooting in Minnesota, Democratic Senator Scott Wiener of San Francisco, who wrote this bill, says it aims to close a legal loophole that shields federal law enforcement officers from accountability. The bill would only apply to cases in California, and if it passes, it would be retroactive to March 1st of 2025. A hearing is set for today on another Senator Wiener legislation. It's called the No Secret Police Act. It bans most law enforcement officers from wearing masks while on duty. The law took effect this year, but the state has agreed not to enforce it. That's because the measure is facing a legal challenge by the Trump administration. So we will update you as soon as we learn more. Should be coming out later today.
This morning now, President Donald Trump delivering a strong message to Iranian leaders if the government makes good on threats to hang protesters this week.
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
And this strong action you're talking about, what's the end game?
The end game is to win. I like winning.
Sources in Iran tell CBS News thousands of people could be dead from the government's violent crackdown on these protests. This morning, Iran's top judge is also hinting at fast trials and executions for those who were detained in the nationwide protests, thousands arrested. The country has eased some restrictions, allowing mobile phone calls abroad for the first time in days, so people can call out only. Internet and texting services, though, remain restricted. And now to local news. Here is an update on a story that we brought you yesterday morning. A measure known as the rent cap bill will not be moving forward.
Yeah, it failed to pass in the Assembly Judiciary Committee for the second year in a row. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Claremont to explain why some voted against this here. Chris?
Yeah, good morning. And what we're hearing from critics, of course, is that they're saying that they don't feel like landlords should have that small of a cap on how much it is that they can increase rent, especially when you're talking about some of those private landlords who rely on that income as part of a way to kind of continue their life, whether that be in retirement or that main source of income. But either way, AB 1157, which proposed establishing that permanent rent cap statewide and reducing it from 10% to 5%, that failed. It also included some protections for single family homes like the ones in this neighborhood, which oftentimes do go to rent to some small families or families that are just getting started and maybe want to expand beyond an apartment. But we heard from, again, both speakers. One, of course, from both sides of the aisle, I should say. You heard from a Democrat, for instance, in San Jose, who said that they believe that this is something in which they need to think about the people that are struggling the most. Then you saw a Republican from Newport Beach who said that they are concerned for those private property owners. Either way, the facts are that rent is expensive here in California, and this rent cap will not be going into place as it has failed in committee again. We spoke with renters. Here's what they had to say.
All those into consideration, given the fact that, yes, maybe rent is going to be a little bit higher in comparison to Phoenix, Arizona, here particularly, but, you know, the trade-off was everything else that this beautiful city has to offer.
It's not realistic, I would say. Definitely not realistic for the majority of people.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to gather opinions about this, as well as some thoughts and analysis, especially as we move forward. But again, important to again remind you that this failed yet again. So remains to be seen politically if this is something that the Assembly, the Senate sees as viable to bring up again in another legislative session. Eric Annetta.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. And now this morning, we're learning more details about a new bill that would place stricter limits on how powerful an electric bike's motor can be, and as a result, limiting how fast it can go. So AB 1557, it's unique because it would redefine what an e-bike is, clarifying that its motor cannot be capable of exceeding 750 watts. That's at its peak. And that means speeds that reach as high as 28 to 32 miles per hour. So that's the max, depending on weight and battery of the bike. Otherwise, it would be reclassified as a motorcycle, anything above that. Under this bill, riders caught using an e-bike exceeding the limits would face fines under California's vehicle code and could have their bike impounded.
All right, taking a peek outside here. Another chilly start, but another warm day. I don't mind these, actually.
No.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
80s and mid-January?
Playing outside.
I enjoy it. I know Vanessa Paz. She has
That's
spoken,
true. Right.
and she likes the winter weather. I also do tend to like a little bit cooler of weather. I mean, this afternoon, we could see some spots closer to 84 degrees. I'm happy with widespread low 70s, even upper 60s around this time of year, because keep in mind, once the summer comes around, we probably won't won't be seeing those cooler temperatures much. Some cause for celebration, some cause for frustration, considering we are in the month of January and we're expected to see widespread 70s and 80s. In San Diego, closer to the water, 73. LA is going for 74. Phoenix, 70, all as a ridge of high pressure builds across the southwestern U.S. Take a look at what other parts of the country, though, are going to be working with. Not only sub-freezing temperatures, but in some cases, just single digits. Minneapolis, 4 degrees this afternoon. Chicago looking at a high of 8 degrees. Philly going for 50 this afternoon, so we're warmer than a hefty portion of the country. Santa Ana winds have come and gone at times. They'll likely return into the afternoon stretch. If you're a high-profile vehicle driver, maybe you're driving big rigs, trucks, whatever you have going on. If you're traveling over the mountain passes, be prepared for a stronger pull on your vehicle out there. You might have to clamp down a little bit more. 48 miles per hour on your wind gusts by the noon hour. 46 going into 2 p.m. Sustained speeds will likely be around 30 miles per hour. So a couple more people may be white knuckling it out along those major freeways. Take a look at how things are looking out in Mount San Miguel. The sunrise starting to take shape. We're still about 40 minutes shy of it. But once it happens, hey, it's a sunny day ahead. 5-day forecast shows temperatures are not moving around too much. Biggest sway is going to be maybe 2 degrees, 82, 83, maybe cooling down just slightly as we go into about Sunday. But otherwise, that's going to be a time frame when we start to see just a couple clouds building back into the forecast. Vanessa, I'll send things over to you. Checking in on traffic. Good morning.
Good morning. We still have our eyes on this crash in the North County. So this is a heads up for anyone traveling out of the Camp Pendleton area. It looks like we are tracking a crash involving 4 to 5 cars, traffic down to about 3 lanes, and reportedly there is a ton of debris scattered across the road as well. So just make sure that you're leaving time for travel if you got to get somewhere on time. Right now, speed's not bad, anywhere between 65, 70 miles per hour. But of course, it is early. As long as this crash is active, you can expect slowing through that direction. Meanwhile, here's what it looks like on the 5, right near the 78 at Oceanside Boulevard. So this is just a little more south of where that crash occurred, and you can see it's a frozen shot there, but things are rolling really smooth, headed southbound and from Carlsbad and Oceanside. This is what it looks like on the 805 coming in from the South Bay, headed northbound out of Chula Vista and National City. Travel times still pretty good, anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes right now to get you northbound for those 805 and 5 drives, 5 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And if you're traveling in from the North County, 12 minutes inbound from Escondido to the Rancho Penasquitos, Rancho Bernardo area, about 30 minutes or so inbound from Encinitas to the top of the Golden Triangle, and about 15 full span of the 78. All right, 6:13 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times. Inbound from San Isidro's port of entry to cross, about an hour 20, and about an hour, so 20 minutes less, coming in from Otay Mesa at last check.